All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a small part of your business that has a huge, and I mean huge, impact on whether customers can even find you online. And it all starts with one simple question. Seriously, think about it. When you take a minute to type out a reply to a customer review, who's the real audience? Now, the obvious answer is the customer, right? Of course. But what if I told you there's another audience, one that never comments, never likes, but has a massive say in your future success? That's right. Every single time you hit reply, you're not just having a conversation with a person. You're talking to the algorithms that decide who gets seen and who stays invisible. And honestly, most businesses are completely missing this opportunity. And here's who's listening in: Google, Apple Maps, and all the new AI tools that are starting to generate recommendations. These systems are constantly scanning your replies to figure out what your business really does, where you do it, and maybe most importantly, if you're active enough to be worth recommending to someone. So let's break down why this hidden audience is so incredibly important for your visibility. It really all comes down to one thing: context. Okay, check this out, because this slide says it all. On the left, you've got a perfectly polite reply. Thanks so much. It's nice, but for an algorithm, it's totally useless. It adds zero context. But now look at the right. Thanks for choosing Joe's Automotive for your brake repair in Austin. That one little sentence is a goldmine of information for AI. With that one reply, you just taught the algorithm three crucial things: your business name, a key service you offer, and your location. Every time you do this, you're helping AI build a smarter, more reliable profile about you, and that makes it way more likely to recommend you the next time someone in Austin is looking for brake repair. So, if giving that kind of context is so valuable, what happens when you don't? Well, the cost of being inconsistent or just plain silent is a lot higher than you think. See, platforms like Google are watching for these key signals. They're tracking how often you respond, how fast you do it, and if you're consistent over time. And why do they care? Because it's proof that you're an active, reliable business that's actually paying attention. So here's the bottom line. When reviews just sit there unanswered, or your replies are always short and generic, your online profile starts to look, well, thin. To an AI, a quiet profile seems less current and way less trustworthy than a competitor who's constantly engaging. You literally risk being ignored. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds easy enough at first, right? Reply to a few reviews, add some details, stay consistent. But anyone who's actually tried to do this knows as soon as the review volume picks up, that manual approach just falls apart. And this isn't a small problem. Get this. A staggering 43% of businesses are still logging into Google, then jumping over to Facebook, then opening up Yelp, trying to manage all of this manually. That chaos is exactly why engagement starts to slip. And it leads to this really tough choice. Do you write every single reply by hand, which feels human but is impossible to keep up with? Or do you give in and use templates, which are super fast but sound, robotic and stiff? Most businesses get stuck right in the middle, and neither option is a great way to grow. This is usually where the conversation turns to automation. But the real reason businesses are hesitant to jump in, well, it's probably not what you'd expect. It's not a fear of technology itself. Just look at this data. It tells a fascinating story. The vast majority of businesses, we're talking 70%, are totally open to using AI for review responses. But, and this is the important part, they want to stay in control. Only a small fraction, about 21%, want to just flip a switch and let it run wild. So the real insight here is this: it was never about being anti-AI. It's about being cautious. It's about not wanting to lose your brand voice or your consistency. It's about not wanting to hand over the keys completely. Businesses want guardrails. And that brings us to the answer. The really smart approach here is finding that perfect sweet spot where control meets automation. That's where you get all the power and a massive impact. So what does a smart solution like this even look like? Well, we're seeing tools that act like an AI reputation specialist. The whole idea is to have an AI agent that can handle the sheer volume and consistency of replies. But, and this is key, it operates under your rules and speaks in your unique brand voice. And the framework for how these things work is actually beautiful in its simplicity. First, you're in the driver's seat. You set the rules, like, say, only reply to 4- and 5-star reviews for now. Second, you define your voice. You tell it your business details and what tone to use. And then third, the AI does the heavy lifting, generating unique, human-sounding replies. The benefits here can be a real game changer.
I mean, think about it. A system that can automatically handle replies in different languages. A single central place to manage everything instead of a dozen different logins. You get all the good stuff from automation without giving up that crucial control.
So let's look at the before picture. We've all seen this, right? An unmanaged profile. There are missing replies, some responses are super short, the tone is all over the map. It really just depends on who had 5 spare minutes that day. Now compare that to the after shot. Suddenly, every reply is consistent, it's detailed, and it's perfectly on brand. Your key services and location are woven in naturally. The whole profile just looks alive, professional, and incredibly helpful, both to customers and to search engines. And the best part? No one on your team had to block out time in their calendar or add another thing to their to-do list. This is the difference. It's having a profile that is constantly working for you, helping you win in local discovery, all happening automatically, in the background. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. If this critical, time-sucking task of replying to every review could be handled for you, building your reputation and your SEO automatically, what would that free you and your team up to do instead?